welcome to my channel. We are going to be doing a question a day in May where I will be answering a question each day from a member of my community. It's kind of in the title, right? And I also thought it might be fun to show you around my neighbourhood. So if you don't know, I live in Japan, kind of out in the countryside, and I'll share my lovely neighbourhood with you. Okay, let's get on to today's question. Hello, and today's question is from Amy. And Amy says, Joe, I met you years ago through Kathleen at Whip Up, and that's when you were doing lots of sewing and crafting. And I want to know why you moved away from that, and do you still sew? This is a great question. So yes, I used to do lots of sewing, and my sewing journey is quite an amusing one. I started back in university, and my housemate Di wanted to go to the 70s disco wearing a fake pink fun fur dress for a Valentine. The theme was Valentine's, and she wanted me to make this dress. And at the time, I didn't have a sewing machine, and actually, I'd never made a dress before. But that didn't stop me. So I created this dress, sewed it by hand, made a cute little bag to go with it. We found some pink paint in our rented house in the cellar, so she used that to paint her boots pink. Went off to the disco, all was fine. And then the guy who ran the disco was so impressed with her outfit, he was like, "Where did you get this from?" And she said, "Oh, my mate Joe did it." Next thing I know, I'm being employed to make the outfits for the dancers for this 70s themed disco every 3 weeks. And so what would happen, I'd rock up on a Saturday morning and Dom would give me the budget for the day, like £50 or whatever. And right next door to our university was this huge Indian fabric shop, and it just had all these amazing, beautiful Indian fabrics. So I'd just go in there and we'd have a theme, and I'd pick out whatever fabric I could for the amount of money I'd got, and I'd be told how many dancers to make outfits for, and I'd just wing it every time. I make these outfits, and they were ridiculous outfits. The more ridiculous, the better. So the two main dancers were gay lads, and they just loved the whole drag queen sort of situation. So I made fun fur leopard skin outfit. It might have been tiger skin actually. Fun fur tiger skin outfit with pointy breasts with red tassels on the end. Yes. Anyway, I didn't do any sewing for years after that. Once I left, I didn't have a machine or anything. And I got paid for doing these sewing gigs in vodka and tequila and free entry to the discos. Woo! So yeah, I didn't do any sewing for years. And then when my son started kindergarten here in Japan, I needed to make bags and stuff that kids here need. Like, they need a ridiculous amount of bags, and they have to be to a specific specification. That you can buy some off the peg, but basically they want mums to sew them at home. So I picked up a sewing machine again, and it rekindled my love, and that's when I started sewing and making stuff. And then I just playing around with little patterns and things, and people would ask me for them, so I put them up for sale. And yeah, that was like how it all happened. And then I discovered Japanese fabric, which is super cute. There's a lot of really cute Japanese fabric. So I started selling that on Etsy and designing some of my own fabric, and I was making patterns and getting commissions off. I was a regular contributor for Sew Hip magazine. They contacted me, I submitted one pattern to them, and then they asked me to be a regular contributor. And Little Yard Wonders, they asked me to contribute too, and Kathleen from Whip Up as well. But then I found we had the big earthquake, and I needed to crunch the numbers and decide what to do business wise. Could I make a living from making these sewing patterns? Yes, but I need a huge amount of traffic to be able to do that, because if you're selling a pattern for $12, that's not a lot of money. So to make a decent amount of money, you've got to sell a lot of patterns. So it's great as a side gig, and I still sell patterns. They're still up on Etsy and they sell every week. But selling them as a full-time job, I realized I was going to be spending a whole lot of time marketing, which is my least favorite thing in the world. And then the other thing was that if I wanted to take this further, like, I don't have any formal qualification. I haven't got any training in making sewing patterns. I just was winging it. Like, I learned how to do the basics and stuff, but I don't know how to put a pattern together properly, especially when it comes to clothes or anything like that. And I thought if I was going to advance in sewing pattern world, I really needed to have better training. And then when I started to think about it, it was like, do I have the passion and the interest to do this as a full-time career? Or is it something that I'd rather do as a part-time job, or, just for fun? And that's what it came down to at the end of the day, was partly money. I didn't want to spend all my time marketing when I'd rather spend all my time creating, basically. And secondly was I hadn't got the passion to do it. Like, I like sewing, I enjoy it, but I definitely don't want to be doing it in, day out. And yeah, it's not my thing. So that is the answer to your question, really. I gave it up as a job, if you like, because it wasn't I wasn't passionate enough about it to do it on a full-time basis. I didn't sew for a long time. I just put the sewing machine away one day, and it didn't come out for over a year. So I think really, and this is to all the multi-passionate people out there, if you are not totally gung-ho about it, that's not a passion to monetize, because if you want to monetize something, you've got to be so infatuated with that aspect that you can carry on when you have all the crap days, and carry on when your ideas have run dry, and carry on when you've got to do days and days of marketing. Whereas if you're doing something and it's like just for fun, and then you have to do all the marketing, or you have days where things go wrong, you're going to lose all the fun. I hope that answered all your questions today. If you have a question, pop it in the form below, and come and join us in Mums That Rock, which is our online community for mums who are multi-passionate and building a business around their family. Please like and subscribe to my channel and all that jazz, and I will see you next time. Cheerio!